How's everybody doing? My name's Gonzalo. I go by Boxing Spectrum, and I'm going to be speaking about the fight purses for the two fights, the main and the co-main on ESPN that took place on Saturday night between Emmanuel El Vaquero or El Cowboy Navarrete versus Francisco de Vaca or Cabeza de Vaca, which means cowhead in English, because that's actually his last name, Cabeza de Vaca. I guess his family comes from line of ranchers in Mexico. But anyhow, we had El Cowboy versus El Cowhead. And in our co-main event, we had a fight between Jesse Magdaleno versus Rafael Rivera. Okay. Now, this fight took place in Los Angeles in the Vaca, California stadium under the promotional banner Top Rank, Bob Arum Promotions on the ESPN Plus network. Now, I said I was going to talk about the purses, the money, the moolah, what these guys made in these two fights. Now, for the first fight in the co-main, Jesse Magdaleno versus Rafael Rivera, a fight that was a 10-rounder in the 126-pound super bantamweight division. Jesse Magdaleno made $125,000, which is pretty good, versus his opponent in Rafael Rivera, who made only $10,000, which really sucks. Okay, so what can we say about, these guys? Magdaleno, once defeated fighter on the comeback trail, ex-world champion at 122 pounds, was fighting this fight at 126. Got a good paycheck in $125,000 versus Rafael Rivera, a fighter who had lost 4 fights and had a draw, but was an ex-world title challenger, a contender that lost by way of decision and win the distance to Leo Santa Cruz. Only got paid $10,000. How is this guy supposed to live and sustain himself if he's looking to fight in a co-feature and where he has to train from 6 to 8 weeks to prepare himself and is only getting paid $10,000? Okay, after he pays his team and taxes, how much is this guy taking home? So that just kind of sucks. But Jesse Magdaleno, he made good money to where after he pays his dues, he's still taking home more than what I guess person with a regular job living in America takes home annually. Okay, so he is sustainable. But what I'm trying to say is this was a co-main event, and this was Top Rank, and this is what he's paying one guy, and this is what he's paying the other guy, $10,000. It just kind of doesn't look good in my opinion. Now in the main event, we had Emmanuel Navarrete versus Francisco de Vaca. This fight took place in the 122-pound division for a world title, so it was for 12 rounds, and the champion and Navarrete made a purse of $125,000 as well, the same as Jesse Magdaleno in the co-main. Okay, now his opponent Francisco de Vaca, he took home $75,000. All right. Now, is this a good purse for De Vaca? Yes. Okay, because he was unheralded, undefeated, but no actual names on his record, and no footage of his fights. So this was actually his first step up. But then again, Navarrete, the champion, this was his second title defense, to where in his first defense after beating Doc Boy and capturing the title, he probably had to execute a rematch clause to where he couldn't dictate the the money side of his purse, to where this was actually in his second title defense. He could actually call the shots. Okay, but then again, he only got paid $125,000, and he was the main event. When actually, to be fair, the fight that was supposed to be leading this card was between Jose Benavides versus Luis Colazo, but that fell through because I think Jose Benavides had a knee injury, and it's probably reoccurring because he got shot like a couple years ago, to where maybe it's the same leg that's giving him problems as he showed to have when he fought Terrence Crawford. But that's the fight that was actually supposed to be the headliner, but that fell through due to Jose Benavides' injury. And Navarrete, a champion that proved to be exciting, stepped up and was, leading this card against a guy that maybe wasn't like, the toughest of challengers, but then again, he was coming off 2 tough fights and beating Doc Bowie. And everybody takes a tough fight, then takes a tune-up. So, I mean, this is top paying these fighters and these purses, where, the one that's more notable that really sucks is the co-main, where Rafael Rivera only got paid $10,000. I mean, that just really sucks. But anyhow, moving on back to Navarrete. They're looking to try to push him to where he's going to do another co-main underneath the Tyson Fury Otto Walling card, which so happens to be on September 14th on a Mexican holiday weekend. Because September 16th is the Independence Independence Day holiday weekend, which is known to be 2 of the dates that Canelo fights on. But he had to postpone and cancel for a future date. So I know Munguia, under the zone, him being a Mexican, is fighting on that date. But they're trying to put, and it's probably going to happen most definitely now, to where Navarrete is fighting a month from now, in this co-main on September the 14th for the top rank card on the ESPN network, because they want to garner a Mexican audience, okay? Which makes sense, and I'm glad. But I mean, if you're going to be paying the main event guy in Tyson Fury millions upon millions, to where Tyson Fury's only been fighting tune-ups, okay, cans or tomato cans, that they're calling him like this next future superstar, not because he doesn't have the talent, because of his the ability to sell tickets. Like Bob Arum said, he's like, he compares him to an Elvis Presley. I think he said that that he's like a celebrity. But if he can't sell, because like in this last fight that he had against Tom Schwartz, he was only like selling to half the capacity in the stadium, like 5,000 or 6,000 in tickets. And I don't know how much his numbers did, but if they're putting Emmanuel Navarrete, a Mexican guy, in the co-feature to try to boost their sales, why is Bob Arum only paying them so little? And at the same time, if we look at the grand scheme of things in this last card, why is he only paying Rafael Rivera $10,000 in this co-main, and the other guy $125,000, and Jesse Magdaleno, which is a good purse, but I have to kind of point out that a guy that's a millionaire and does these big cards, it's kind of unfair that he's putting these guys in for these fights, and they're getting paid an amount that's not really enough to live on, and mainly just being the one guy in Rafael Rivera, okay? But then again, the champion in Emmanuel Navarrete, if he's gonna be put in this next card a month from now because they want to boost their ratings and their sales and tickets and in subscriptions, he's got to be getting paid more, I believe, because they're making a lot of money, top rank, okay? And a lot of people are watching this on ESPN Plus. Anyhow, that's what I gotta say about that. This is what these guys has made for this purse last Saturday on ESPN. Okay, and this is pretty much it. This is Vaca Spectrum. Peace.